Mercer Mystique, what makes Mercer special is that Mercer is a fun car to drive. And you can get in this car and it's easy to drive, and you can tell as soon as you open the throttle and drive away, it likes to run. It's like a thoroughbred horse. You don't have to muscle it around. It's easy to, it really is easy to drive, even today. And, you know, it's almost 100 years old, and it's still. They had the ergonomics right. The shift lever's in the right place, the steering wheel's just right, your feet just fall to the right place on the pedals. It's a great car.
I like the way they look, but the best part about a Mercer is the way that it handles. It handles like a dream. If you point it in the direction you want to go, it'll go there.
You can drive the car just with a very small flick of your hand. You can turn around a corner, and that was important in the days of dirt roads, because you would hit a pothole or a rock and the car would twitch, so you wanted a quick steer in order to get out of the situation that you were in. The cars are very nimble, very quick, and except for the brakes, which were horrible, they were fun to drive.
This is a second generation car called the L-head. The earlier cars are called T-heads, which was a type of mechanical engine displacement system. It needed a lot of things, and I would spend many weekends over at Mort's house taking care of what needed attention. We had to rewire the car because 75-year-old wiring becomes unusable because of age, and it became an interesting hobby for a couple of years.
It's a 1911 Mercer. It's a 35R. It's a raceabout. It's guaranteed to do 1 mile in 51 seconds. It'll still do it. It's a lethal weapon. It was built by Mercer Automobile Company in Trenton. The chief engineer was Mr. Porter, and he was not an automotive engineer, but he was pretty good, pretty smart, because he put this together, and it's a race car.
My grandfather, John Kuzer, was one of the co-founders of the company in early 1909, and there were 4 people who signed the Articles of Incorporation in May of 1909 when they finally got it all together and finally had some money to go into production and start making cars. And they wanted to advertise their cars. And the best way to advertise a car in those years was to get a lot of free publicity by winning races. And they found out that when they tried to race the product that they initially produced, they weren't very successful. So they came up with a better idea, hired a man named Finley Robertson Porter, who designed this car. And it was a winner, because he designed it to be a winner in that racing class. As you see it, no fenders, no lights, and boy, it blew all the other competitors out of the water. There was a lot of cars from the Midwest who were their competitors. All those car companies just dropped racing in 1912 and 13 because Mercer was just too strong and too good for them to deal with. And in 1914, the first American car to win a Grand Prix race, Grand Prize they called it back then, was a Mercer from Trenton with a Trenton driver, Eddie Pullen. And it put an American car in front of all the European competition. This was a time when America had kind of an inferiority complex, that everything from Europe was better. And seeing the Mercer win like that was a big plus for America. This car was built as a race car. And then they put fenders on it, lights on it, and sold it to the public. And as the designer Porter said, we sold race cars to the public.
Cars at that time were not used for transportation like modern cars are to go to the grocery store. These were sport cars for wealthy people, and they have a thing called a cutout, which disconnects the exhaust from the muffler, and you're hearing the actual sound of the engine exhaust. That's why they're so noisy.
The Mercer Centennial Reunion, to me, is a great adventure for all of the Mercer enthusiasts. It's only once every 10 years or so that we ever get together. So to get this many cars together, to be at the Roebling Museum, they are excited about the car as much as we are excited about the car. And it's because of this why we have such a great turnout today.